We will now read the fifth order of the day.
Vote 13, Cultural Affairs and Sport, Western Cape Adjustments Appropriation Bill.
Thank you, Secretary. I now see the Honourable the Minister, Minister Maree.
Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to engage on this very important budget vote debate today. I sincerely hope to constructively discuss the Western Cape Government's commitment to service delivery and citizen impact, and not simply chasing numbers, ticking boxes or political grandstanding, to ensure that those we serve are enabled with greater opportunities to be better versions of themselves, while uplifting the communities in a dire need of empowerment. I thank Minister Ivan Meyer, the Provincial Treasury team, my Cabinet colleagues, and the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport Executive Management team and officials for understanding the value cultural affairs and sport has in not only nation building, but to offer all who call the Western Cape home a sense of belonging in a national climate where majority feels abandoned by the ANC government. Speaker, in May this year, the National Minister of Arts and Culture noted in his budget speech, to which I agree, and I quote, "It is important to note and acknowledge the glaring reality that South Africa's freedom would remain hollow for majority of the population, predominantly black, if they remain on the fringes of the economy," unquote. Yet, Speaker, the majority of the population who are vulnerable and previously at disadvantage are further pushed into despair and blocked from opportunities by allowing taxpayers' money to instead fund maladministration, mismanagement, state capture, SAA bailouts, and the sort. Speaker, I can then also agree with Minister Mthethwa that, and I quote, "The road to our democracy in South Africa is drenched in blood and punctuated by centuries of racial and economic subjugation, discrimination and oppression, with many ordinary South Africans, especially the youth, making the ultimate sacrifice in a quest for freedom and democracy," unquote. I have witnessed firsthand how Western Cape athletes and creatives, mostly youth, have been locked out of national opportunities as a consequence or sacrifice of political grandstanding. This is absolutely unacceptable, as our youth are still dying in townships, on the flats, and in our remote rural areas as a result of hopelessness caused by national nonchalance. Mevrou die Speaker, dit is om hierdie redes dat ons die 500,000 van die Departement van Gemeenskapsveiligheid verwelkom om die vermindering in alkoholverwante skade spelwisselaar verder te bevorder. Dit het reeds groot sukses met ons loodsprojekte in Khayelitsha en Fairyland Paarl beleef. Hierdie projekte volg holistiese benadering waarin gedragsverandering beklemtoon word deur positiewe ontwikkelingsprogramme waar lewensvaardighede en maniere ondersoek word waarop individuele probleemsituasies hanteer kan word terwyl sportvaardighede tydens sportaktiwiteite geslyp word. Die gebruik van sport en kultuursake as instrument om ons mense geleenthede vir selfbemagtiging en sosiale inklusiwiteit te bied, staan sentraal in ons pogings by die Weskaapse Departement van Kultuursake en Sport. Ons het groot vordering gemaak met die skep van 'n bemagtigende omgewing waarin ons kiesers holisties kan floreer. Met ons beperkte jaarlikse begroting het ons belegging in die jeug geprioritiseer deur geleenthede vir toegang en deelname aan kultuursake en sport te vermeerder, deur befondsingsorganisasies te finansier, platforms waar talent tentoongestel kan word te vermeerder en nuwe innoverende vennootskappe met ander te smee, sodat groter geleenthede kan materialiseer. Daarom is ons baie dankbaar vir die bykomende R250,000 wat ontvang is om te verseker dat die Suid-Afrikaanse fietsrykampioenskap vanaf 11 tot 16 Desember 2018 by die Bellville Velodrome kan plaasvind. Hierdie toekenning gaan beslis meer geleenthede aan ons jeug bied, aangesien dit 'n inspuiting is vir die ekonomie as gevolg van die werksgeleenthede wat geskep word. 'n Bykomende voordeel is dat interaksie van die jeug met positiewe rolmodelle moontlik gemaak word en die Weskaap as die fietsrybestemming van Afrika beklemtoon word. Speaker, critical thinking, consciousness and a sense of belonging contribute to nation building and identity. At the department, we are committed to changing mindsets to offer positive alternatives to already negative circumstances. Each day, a greater amount of national funds is announced as stolen, misused, mismanaged, and privately pocketed by ANC heavyweights. This angers and frustrates us, the Western Cape government and our enabling partners, as we too often receive what has now become the default response from the national ANC government that there are no funds available to optimize on our already functional and successful programs through which lives are changed and communities uplifted through the work we do at our department in the Western Cape. The arts, sport and culture affairs allow people how to think, not what to think. Thus, the work of the department is serious business, often misinterpreted as simple fun and a time passerby, when in fact it is a fundamental branch of government. It is concerned with the well-being of the mind, body and spirit, and Speaker, if the minds, bodies and spirits of our people are not equipped in our diversity, it is less likely that they will take up the opportunities rightfully to be availed to them. Culture affairs and sport challenge and dismantle the idea that because we are different, we cannot be together. We have made incredible progress in promoting the beauty and power in our diversity and will continue to show in real terms that the ANC's propaganda has polluted the minds of our people for far too long with no sustainable solutions to living lives our people can value. In contrast, Speaker, key to our efforts at the department is the creation of an enabling environment in which all who call the Western Cape home feel a sense of identity, belonging and unity. There have been significant developments in the province's commitment to identify, conserve, protect, manage and promote the heritage resources in the Western Cape so that we are aware of our cultural, historical landscape. We welcome the 1.5 million appropriated to the further development of an archaeological and paleontological heritage tourism route. This route aims to promote heritage tourism in the province, affording job opportunities while documenting where we come from and advocating for the significance of our beginnings as a diverse people. While the ANC spews division, propaganda and consciously allowing taxpayers' money to enrich the already rich, our officials are placed under severe pressure and are less capacitated as salaries do not remunerate their sacrifice, hard work and selfless contribution to nation building. Speaker, 4.4 million was reappropriated and translates to surrendered compensation of employees to the Provincial Revenue Fund for fiscal consolidation. Due to the ANC's let them eat cake attitude, our staff have become despondent as very little financial growth is available in this very difficult economic environment, also forced into by the ANC national government. Speaker, it is clear that our Western Cape residents are speaking and are more vocal about their grievances because they have been accustomed to a transparent, responsive and capable provincial government. The Western Cape government promotes diversity and will ensure vigorously public participation processes in which all interested voices will be heard, considered and democratically implemented. Honourable Dakmo, Makaleni and Gopi, our people deserve freedom, fairness and opportunity. How better to honour Tata Madiba on his century by proactively building the all-inclusive nation we once was prepared to die for. The Western Cape government firmly believes that we are better together, and only once we understand the perspectives and lived experiences of others and act accordingly in reconciliation can we move forward as a nation. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister. If we could just compose ourselves and allow the members to take up their seats. All right, let's go. I now see the Honourable Mackenzie.
Thank you, Speaker.
Order, please,
It gives me
Honourable
great pleasure
Makaleni.
to participate in this debate today. The Western Cape government's theme for this year's MTBBS is consolidation for maximum citizen impact. This is set in a volatile, complex, and ambiguous environment our country is going through, hence we fully understand the adjustment of the 21 million rand. The Western Cape government remains committed to
Honourable
growth
Dugmore.
and creating jobs and enhance the impact through targeted interventions and create one South Africa for all. One of the targeted interventions is Wi-Fi, broadbands, and enterprise content developments, which include contents for our libraries in the Western Cape. As a government during the medium term, you look at your strategies of how you respond to budgeted items and the needs of the communities that we serve. Speaker, when you are in a tough economic environment created by others, you look at ways to save money, some innovative, and you look at the best ways and how to respond to these significant challenges. This is the purpose of the Adjustments Appropriations Bill, and which is done in all provinces, and I can safely say it's probably done in all governments around the world. The department's savings in cost and employment has been reallocated to the Provincial Revenue Fund, and these funds, like many others, will go to much-needed services in other departments. The fact that a department with a budget of under R1 billion can find these savings clearly illustrate the competence and the ability of the department to contribute to the well-being of the citizenry in the Western Cape and their contribution to create one South Africa for all. It reminds me of my grandmother, Speaker, who could feed a family of 14 grandchildren with a loaf of bread. It takes rare skill and efficiently and equally allocate resources to fulfill your objective. I thus commend Minister Andrew Marais and her department for having oma vaardigheid, grandmother skills, to do what they do with the little that they have and ensure everybody benefits. Deputy Speaker, when we talk about the 13 million that was allocated to enterprise development content of the Department of the Premier, it gives me great joy. The reason, Speaker, is that Wi-Fi, broadband, and enterprise development is important for any government to succeed and deliver to its people. A government that is not online and provide e-services is a government that is destined to fail. Speaker, libraries is the cornerstone of our society. As a government, we always look at ways of unlocking opportunities. When you build libraries, expand Wi-Fi and broadband and e-services, you do exactly that. You unlock opportunities, create jobs, and assist in dealing with the social challenges in our society. This is what this government is all about. We unlock opportunities by providing content enterprise development. So it was a pleasure, Speaker, when I visited Beacon Hill High School in Mitchells Plain on behalf of my colleague, Minister Albert Fritz, and I saw how they're expanding the library. And the principal, Mr. Kahnemeyer, told me how they open up the library for the community of Mitchells Plain. What does it mean, Speaker? It means for the community of Eastridge and Beacon Hill and Beacon Valley don't have to travel to Tafelsig to use the library. So for an unemployed person who needs 50 rand to get to a library in town center to get a job, that person can now walk to Beacon Hill High School, use the e-services, use the library to apply for a job. And this is what the allocation of this government is doing. We therefore welcome the allocation to the computer equipment for the rural library connectivity project, Speaker. But more importantly, Speaker, in the Adjustments Appropriation Bill, which I'm sure some members on the other side didn't see, there was a very important allocation. That allocation, what we all know, is the Grand Old Luxorama, or the Lux. And this is the historic venue in Wynberg in Cape Town. The Lux hosted some of Cape Town's greatest stars in his heyday. The late Tali Peterson, the late Robbie Jensen, the Rockers, the Pacific Express, and I'm sure Honorable Member Kivido was also present on the dance floor many years back. I was therefore pleased to see the funding allocated to document the importance of in the history of the Luxorama, and looking forward to watching this important documentary. And Minister Marais, with your, if I hope you certainly, I know the Lux is being used now for an education facility, but when this documentary is launched, I hope that you can convince them to open the Lux and launch the documentary about the Lux at the Lux. Deputy Speaker, we also welcome the 301,000 rand allocated for the Provincial Heritage Bill, and looking forward to receiving this bill in Parliament so our collective heritage can be preserved. Speaker, I know what Member Kopi is going to say. She will talk about the shifts in the various programs, which is okay, because a government that cannot adapt to economic changes, it's a government that don't deserve to be in government. So this is why it's great to see, despite all the planning, and despite the fact that they've managed to shift funds to accommodate the needs of the community, this DA government continued to deliver. Speaker, I want to thank the department for being accountable to the committee and sharing everything with this committee. This great level of accountability, Speaker, is unlike many other government departments where we all know in the ANC-led governments, accountability is a swear word. I want to thank the Minister and her team, the HOD, and all members of the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport, and all its entities for the work they've done in the last financial year under difficult circumstances and under severe constraint. As a committee, we fully supported this bill, knowing the ANC's minority view, because they don't support good governance. I want to take the opportunity to thank our committee assistants, Wasim Matthews, Ms. Mary Ann Burgess, Mathintle Mosapi, who tirelessly served this committee and engagements, including all our interpreters, who really work hard. Deputy Speaker, I also want to thank members of this committee for their constructive engagement in the work of this committee. Members Makaleni, Member Olafi, Member Dagmore, my colleagues,
please.
Member Mitchell, Member Botha,
Honourable members.
and Member Wenger, and also the father and mothers of our committee, Member Kivido and Sisdoza. Deputy Speaker, Speaker, no MPL can function without his backbone. And in this regard, I want to thank our DA fifth floor staff, who's the backbone of support for many of our MPLs. I therefore want to thank Ms. Brenda Harrison, Colleen Makobo, Stian Carlson, our Chief of Staff, Desmond Sampson, Mr. Joshua Chigomi, Mr. Ryan Smith, Mr. Neo Mokwane, and several other members of our staff members who tirelessly work with this committee and serve the committee. I also want to thank Mr. Kabela Motloto, Ms. Eslin Apollos, Mrs. Marty Vedepol, Ms. Shamila Osman, Mrs. She got married, Mrs. Juliet Stone, Ms. Tanya Stein-Dowie, Mrs. Nareen Schilder, Mrs. Belinda Sickle, and last and leastly, Mrs. Virginia Davis, who services particularly me with great skill. I want to thank them all for creating an environment for one South Africa for all, and wishing them and every member of this House a peaceful, joyful, and merry happy Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you. Members, I understand we're getting to the end of the day, but can we please afford Honourable Gopi the opportunity to speak? And Honourable Gopi, I am going to be addressing your colleagues behind you to allow you the opportunity to speak without interruption. You may proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as we are in the initiation season, I wish all those boys undergoing this rite of passage well and safe return, and also conveying my condolences to the family of the young man that hanged himself in the initiation school during this week. The rite of passage is still not respected in this province.
Honourable Chacha.
The rite of passage is still not respected in this province as people don't have land. The MEC keeps on telling us that she cannot do anything. This budget is also silent on ways to assist those people. An adjusted budget appropriation that is taking away 21 million from the people is definitely not a budget for safety and citizen impact. This reduction is rejected. Someone looking at this budget can easily categorize it as a budget of reduced spending for compensation of employees, as well as decreased spending in goods and services. Everything in this budget seems to be decreased. Even the transfers to the underfunded departmental agencies and accounts are cut. The budget that receives the smallest allocation has failed to use over 7 million, which has been surrendered back to the provincial treasury. MEC, is this being serious business? Noko kanikubeni nentloni. Program 3 for library and archive services was the most affected by the decrease in this appropriation. MEC, is this how the people are being serviced? The 3.7 1.3 million surrendered was also for this program. On top of this, the department had failed to spend over 834,000 for broadband funds for rural library connectivity, which was rolled over to this year. On top of this, the library service, with all its challenges, had its budget decrease. The libraries in the rural areas will feel the impact of this. The biggest decrease was for the archives, over 21 million. This program is tasked with the responsibility to provide archives and records management service in this province. The department last year told us about digitalization policy of Western Cape governmental bodies. In this, the department said the rapid pace of technology innovation in information handling, such as digital technology, has created new opportunity to improve the accuracy and availability of information. The department considered that the digital technology has brought about new challenges that the Western Cape Archives and Record Services need to deal with, such as management of digital-born records, transformation of the largely paper-based current, semi-current, and historical records to digital format, digital prevention, and short life cycle of technology. Given all these challenges that need to be addressed, the department chose to decrease a budget for this program. The decrease includes compensation of employees, over 25 million of goods and services. It's difficult to imagine how the set target for Program 3 will be met with this kind of budget. Provincial Strategic Goal 3, which deals with creating healthy, inclusive, socially connected communities, increase wellness, safety, and tackling social ills in the part of this department's responsibility. MEC Mayor told the House about different plans to build inclusive, safe, and healthy communities. He then said MEC Marais would provide more details on this. Speaker, I hope when the MEC gives those details, the MEC will also explain how big the decrease in the budget will help her achieve these plans. The high youth unemployment contributes immensely to the safety issues, drug and substance abuse, as well as other social ills we are faced with. Clearly, this budget will not help us to increase safety and tackle social ills. Speaker, Provincial Strategic Goal 2 also aims to tackle these challenges by improving skills and capacitating our youth, as well as to end poverty. Against this department is one of the departments jointly responsible for this. In terms of this strategic goal, the department is assigned in the pursuit to improve cleaner outcome and creation of opportunities for youth by, among others, making use of the MOD program as well as the school sport. In this budget, the MOD program is increased only by 13,000. This means the provincial government does not have plans to expand the MOD program to other areas, particularly in the farming communities. For the existing MOD program, it means the challenges that exist will not be addressed. My disappointment is with the decrease in the budget for school sport. I do not know how that is going to assist the department where it is the citizen impact when the budget for school sport decrease. Under Program 4, not only the compensation of employees decrease, but also transfers to non-profit institutions are decreased. Such institution depends on this department for survival, yet the department decreased the transfers. The budget for Program 2, Cultural Affairs, shows an increase of 1.2 million. Out of its 5 sub-programs, only 2 receive an increase. Those sub-programs 2.1 management and sub-program 2.3 museum services. Other sub-programs include arts and culture, heritage, resource service, and language services were all decreased. The art and culture sub-program focused on the development, prevention, and promotion of art and culture in the province through the creation of inclusive, effective, and vibrant function art and culture structure, activity and environments, and to support and assist the Western Cape Cultural Commission to execute its legislative mandate. During the annual report, we raised several concerns around the inadequate funding to art and culture structure in the poor communities, which are not funded by this department. Majority of funding go to well-established organizations, while organizations on the ground are not funded, which this budget, those organizations will never be funded. I also don't know how the target will be met. The budget for sub-program 2.4 Heritage Resource Service is decreased while there is a growing need to protect, conserve, manage, and promote heritage resource for communities like Bukap and Lisbik.
Honourable
I am not happy with the decrease.
If you could, your time has expired, but you can finish up, please.
I am not happy with the decrease in the budget for sub-program 2.5 Language Services with 780,000. Promote multilingualism in the Western Cape as well as activity program to the development of the previous marginalized indigenous languages has been moved to other programs.
Thank you, Honourable Gopi. In the absence of the EFF and the ACDP, I see the Honourable the Minister.
Baie dankie, Speaker. Dankie aan elke komiteelid, die koördineerder en komitee sekretariaat vir die afgelope jaar. Dankie agbare McKenzie vir jou leierskap as voorsitter, jou konstruktiewe oorsig en dan ook die integriteit waarmee oorsig gedoen word. En ek sal definitief die organiseerders versoek om die laks te hou by die laks en dan te kyk of ons nie kan kaartjies kry ook. Okay. Die agbare Gopi, sedert ek in hierdie portefeulje is, het ek gereeld afsprake met die voorsitter van die inisiasieforums. En indien daar probleme sou wees, word dit onmiddellik aangespreek en onmiddellik opgelos. En die munisipaliteite werk almal saam en is almal die inisiate goedgesind. En Nooit was die grond enigstens 'n probleem gewees nie. Ons, soos ek gesê het, ons het innoverende verhoudinge wat ons vorm met organisasies en besighede om ons reeds goeie en effektiewe dienslewering te verbeter. En ons begroting is besnoei, omdat nasionaal ons deel wat na ons kant toe moet kom besnoei het. En ek wil nou nie sê dat dit gaan in staatskaping nie en dit is gesteel nie, maar dit is eintlik die werklikheid van die situasie. Ek wil net sê, ek wens julle almal 'n geseënde en vreugdevolle feestyd toe. Baie dankie.
Thank you. That concludes the debate. I will now ask the Secretary to read the 6th order of the day. Sorry? Oh, sorry. I think we just need 2 minutes to suspend for if there are any officials coming in. Thank you.